Eastern PA Weather Authority Meteorologist Bobby Martrich here with your outlook for August 15th, 2016. And for your Monday, back to work, we're actually going to have another hot day here today, but the humidity is going to lower a little bit for the first time. We're not going to have the humidity values be as oppressive as we've seen over the weekend, so we're going to take a step back with that. Winds are going to shift a little bit from the southwesterly winds that we've been experiencing for the last couple days. We're going to be coming out of the west or maybe west-northwest today. And that's going to be a little bit of a difference as far as humidity is concerned. So you'll definitely feel a difference, even though the temperatures are still going to get up to the 90s in many locations. It's still going to be hot, don't get me wrong, but still lower humidity. One other thing we took out of the forecast for the first time in a while is the mention of precipitation. There's nothing going on in our coverage area for a while. We've had thunderstorms every single day in this pattern. But again, that wind shift to the west-northwest is helping drying things out, so you have a day with no precipitation either. Now, that will change, however. We have a area low pressure here that's going to very quickly move from the Ohio Valley or Midwest and then through the Ohio Valley up through the eastern Great Lakes and eventually do one of these numbers like this, move in this direction, okay? And that's going to, and it's coming up and over the top there because you still have this high pressure down here. This is still your Bermuda high, so it's still kind of forcing everything up and over the top again. So by doing that, it's going to take that path like that. Now, what this is going to do, since we have the winds out of the west-northwest and a kind of like a weak cold front come through yesterday, this has a warm front associated with it. So you have the area low pressure. It also has a warm front extending out like this. So this is through the overnight hours. I do think you're getting an increase in clouds. It will hold mostly cloudy overnight. You will have an opportunity for an isolated shower or storm in some areas, very isolated in the overnight period as this moves off to the north. So I'm going to put this in motion here. Okay, here's a look at late overnight. This would be after midnight if you had that, by the way. Here's that warm front in association with this low pressure, association with the low pressure that's going up and over the top like this. Okay, it's going over top of that ridge. Warm front's extending out here like this. Along that, you have that opportunity for the isolated shower shown in eastern Pennsylvania and parts of New Jersey. Again, just very isolated, not a big deal. Then we get into Tuesday here. Now, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has put up a slight risk of severe storms up in this area here. And I would say I agree with that with this one because you have you're closest to the area forcing. Area low pressure's up here, and you have a cold front that's sitting back here like this. So out ahead of that, you could have some pretty strong to perhaps even severe thunderstorms closest to the areas where we have the best forcing and ahead of this cold front. So I think that's still going to be the case on Tuesday afternoon. This also will have the opportunity to produce some locally heavy rainfall like we've been used to and accustomed to lately. All right, then once we get into Wednesday, some models have this front getting hung up a little bit, so we'll still leave an isolated thunderstorm in the forecast with the front kind of draped out here like this. This area low pressure is kind of moving out of the picture here, taking the cold front with it. So areas in the north and west will be drying out, but closest to the front where the front has not moved through yet, right down here especially, and down into Delaware, South Jersey, you'll have an opportunity for a late day isolated thunderstorm once again. That'll be on Wednesday. After that point, we're going to lower humidity. High pressure is going to move in, and that's going to give us. It's going to be weak high pressure, but it's high pressure nonetheless. It should keep us dry and not have to worry about any rain or high humidity. And temperatures are still going to remain above normal because this is just a weak high pressure. It's not really anything overwhelming. But you see, it keeps us dry here. Here's a look at Friday, and then we can finally get into next weekend. Here's Saturday. Right now looks dry. Maybe an isolated something here. I don't think it's high enough to really be concerned about. And then but when we get into Sunday, this front is starting to come in from the west, but just getting into western Pennsylvania at the very end of the day on Sunday, at least as a timing right now, which would keep us dry. Here's that high pressure off to our northeast, keeping this thing kind of slow. So it's come in here Monday of next week based on current timing. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, it looks like straight through from maybe the isolated thunderstorm here for southeastern areas on Wednesday. After that point, looks like it's dry straight through next weekend. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority Meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for August 15th, 2016. Have a great Monday.